Okay, we're live.
Okay, thank you. I would like to acknowledge for the minutes that General Committee discussed a presentation concerning a confidential personal information and solicitor-client privilege matter related to workplace investigation. There were no votes taken during the closed portion of the meeting, with the exception of the vote to move into open session. Would someone like to place a motion on the floor at this point? Deputy Mayor Ward.
Motion is that the following corrective actions be undertaken in response to the workplace investigation identified in staff report HRS 00220. 1. The respondent undertake training relative to workplace violence and harassment to be funded by the city, and that training be approved by the city CAO and or the Director of Human Resource. 2. That going forward, the respondent be required to strictly comply with the city staff's council relations policy and only make contact with staff through the appropriate management. And 3, that the respondent be requested to issue a written apology to the complainant if requested, and to counsel for the respondent's conduct.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor Ward. The motion is on the floor. Is it clear to members of General Committee? Okay, then I will call the question. Those in favor of the motion, please indicate. I'll be clear, I'm in favor as well. That motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Ward. That actually completes the General Committee agenda for this evening. General Committee is adjourned. We will move immediately into City Council. Madam Clerk, do you need a minute, or are you prepared to call Council to order?
Okay. Please rise as you are able. I now call this meeting of City Council to order.
We acknowledge this meeting is taking place on the traditional land of the Anishinaabe people. The Anishinaabe include the Odawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. We're dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture and committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect with all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. Please be seated. Okay, we have a somewhat shortened agenda for this City Council meeting, as there were only a few matters on General Committee's agenda. I do not believe we received a emergency deputation request concerning the one item for discussion from earlier. No, clerk says no. That brings us straight to the committee reports. Deputy Mayor Ward.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Thompson, that section A of the General Committee report dated December 21st, 2020 be I'm going to look for the clerk. Adopted or received?
Adopted.
Adopted.
Yeah, I've got this one as the CMHC item. Yeah, okay. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that section A of the General Committee report dated December 21st, 2020 be adopted. This is with regards to a CMHC Rapid Housing Initiative application. Comments or questions? Seeing none, those in favor of section A, please indicate. Any opposed? None. That carries unanimously. And for those watching, that is an item that was on General Committee's agenda earlier tonight to provide support for a supportive housing application to the federal government. I think this is timely, coming just before Christmas at the start of the winter. There's a local organization known well, Redwood Park Communities, who are applying to the federal government with the support of the County of Simcoe to create supportive housing in Barrie. We voted 2 weeks ago to provide them a letter of support, and tonight to do a little more than that, to provide a $50,000 refundable loan for the purpose of a deposit to secure the property. That could be used if the application comes through. So that was just approved by council. Thank you for that, members of council. Deputy Mayor Ward, section B, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that section B of the General Committee report dated December 21st, 2020 be adopted? Received. I'll get it right.
This one's to be received, I think.
Received,
Yeah.
yes.
Received. Okay.
Okay, it's moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that section B of the General Committee report dated December 21st, 2020 be received. It's to receive the presentation concerning a confidential personal information and solicitor-client privilege matter related to a workplace investigation. Comments or questions? It's to be received. Seeing none, those in favor of receiving section B? Any opposed? None. That carries unanimously. Section C, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that section C of the General Committee report dated December 21st, 2020 be adopted, and could I request a recorded vote? Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Ward. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that section C of the General Committee report dated December 21st, 2020 be adopted. This is the motion that was just passed in the public session of General Committee regarding a confidential personal information and solicitor-client privilege matter related to a workplace investigation. Madam Clerk, recorded vote's been requested. Please conduct the vote.
Thank you, Mayor Lehman. I'll start with you tonight.
Yes.
Councillor Rietma,
Yes.
Councillor Aylwin,
Yes.
Councillor Kungle,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Ward,
Yes.
Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Councillor Natalie Harris,
Yes.
Councillor Harvey,
Yes.
Councillor Jim Harris,
Yes.
Councillor Morales.
Yes.
Carries unanimously.
Thank you, members of council. That was carried unanimously, and appreciate the vote on that. I think that completes the committee reports for this evening. We have no deferred business or direct motions. We have no presentations on tonight's agenda. That brings us to inquiries of staff. Deputy Mayor Ward, do you have any inquiries?
Not necessarily of staff, but of yourself. I wanted to know how today's announcement, what effect today's provincial announcement will have on Barrie City Services.
Hope you've got a minute. And thank you, Deputy Mayor Ward, for the question. We've certainly had already a number of questions from our residents. Our staff are doing great work already to summarize this. And if you'll bear with me, I'm just going to pull up some of the information now. Obviously, moving to this expanded version of lockdown now, in the community, the measures include restricting indoor organized public events and social gatherings except with members of the same household, prohibiting in-person shopping in most retail settings. Curbside pickup and delivery can continue. Obviously, grocery stores, pharmacies, and similar stores will remain open. As folks will remember from April and May, the essential stores do remain open. So there's no need to panic buy at the grocery store. I know there were reports of lineups, but the grocery stores will remain open even into this. Prohibiting indoor and outdoor dining, not that there's too many patios left anymore in December. But the restaurants, bars, and other food and drink establishments will be permitted to operate by takeout, drive-through, and delivery. So we will need to support them, everyone in town. Now, in terms of city services, which is specifically what you're asking, City Hall will be closed to the public except for pre-booked appointments through Service Barrie. There'll be more information coming on how to do that. The rec centers have to close. Virtual program offerings will continue. There is a specific user group that can continue at some of the rec centers, and that's Mariposa and the Barrie Colts. But unfortunately, all other ice rentals and programming has to stop. The landfill will remain open, but with a reduced capacity. Please wear a mask if you do go to the landfill, because you will be interacting with staff. The status of all other services will remain the same for the moment as they were in the red control level. That includes transit, outdoor rinks, and provincial offense courts. For all the up-to-date information you need on this, please go on the city's website. We will have this up very, very shortly. The information is just being finalized to be posted tonight. And the other place, of course, to go is the health unit's website, which will give you more detail on the guidance that everybody has to follow in terms of in the community. So that's the short answer, Deputy Mayor Ward. There's a longer answer on the website. Okay, any other inquiries, members of City Council? Councillor Jim Harris.
Thank you, Mayor Lehman. You may have just lightly touched on it, but I know there's been some interest and excitement about our 32 plus community and volunteer led rinks. And first of all, I want to thank residents for their patience. I know how exciting it is to get the hose, to get your community rink going, being a past volunteer and flutter of Greenfield Park. But I know Miss Miller's not on the call tonight. I know she's exceptionally busy, but I know there's a plan. I know the city is very much aware and interested in getting these community rinks going to expand the capacity of outdoor skating and outdoor activity. And as we try to do our piece to, get people activated while these lockdowns happen in a safe way. So I'm not sure if there's someone who can speak to just, the clarity that there is a plan and to be patient, but the staff are doing what they can to get these rinks going in the most efficient and safe way.
Mr. Prowse.
Thank you, Mayor Lehman. I saw Ms. McAlpine threw her camera on at the same time, so if she's got something to add, she can certainly chime in. Thank you for the question, Councillor Harris. We have been working with the health unit on the community-based rinks, and certainly has been a complicated process to make sure that we're in a position to have them operating safely and in compliance with the health unit. That work, as I understand it, has been finalized, and we are now in sort of the deployment mode. So I'd be happy to send an electronic update to council as to the timeline, but I would say in the next few weeks is when we should expect those to be available.
That's wonderful. Hopefully the weather gives us good rink building conditions, because it requires Mother Nature's cooperation as well. So thank you.
It does. We didn't get a lot of cooperation with a bit of rain the other day, but it is supposed to be pretty cold starting pretty soon. So I know those rinks will build fast. Other inquiries, members of council? Okay, seeing none. Announcements. Deputy Mayor Ward, do you have any announcements?
I have none, except to wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Thanks. You stole my closing line, but it's a good opening one. Councillor Thompson.
I just wished Deputy Mayor Ward would have said from all council, Merry Christmas. It's been a real trying year, and to thank staff for all the work they've done, and to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday.
Thank you, Councillor Thompson. Councillor Kungle.
Thank you, Your Worship. I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge today being December the 21st, our first day of winter and longest night of the year. And typically those of us who are able might meet in the rotunda to commemorate lives lost and stand together at a time of memorial for individuals who lost their lives for factors related to being homeless. And so I wanted to acknowledge that. While that didn't happen in person with those today, I wanted to extend an appreciation to the Simcoe County Alliance to End Homelessness and Hospice Simcoe, who held a vigil today. It occurred between, I believe, 11 and 11:30 you can find some information through the Hospice Simcoe Facebook page on that. And in addition to that, I wanted to also thank staff who I believe a couple of days ago sent out a media release for those looking for information about a warming center during the day. So we do have the bus terminal that will be opened during extreme weather warnings and alerts. And within that information, there's also some really great contact if you know of anyone seeking shelter or needing emergency or crisis shelter for overnight accommodation through Simcoe County's system. So thank you to staff working with service partners and community agencies for helping to bridge some connections over this winter. And again, echoing sentiments of colleagues around the table, wishing you all a safe and happy holiday, and hopefully 2021 around the bend that has less mask wearing and more seeing more smiling faces in person. So keep well.
Thanks, Councillor Congal. I can say with relative confidence, 2021 can only be better than 2020. Also, I will tell you, I learned a new expression on the weekend. You don't smile anymore, you smize, right? You got to smile with your eyes. I got taught that by a member of the media. So everybody keep smizing. But thank you for that, Councillor Congal. Are there other announcements? Members of council? Okay, seeing none, I do have a few. For anybody watching, there will be a statement on the matter that we discussed tonight forthcoming in the very near future. So we will have a statement on that matter that's been ongoing for some weeks. That's the confidential workplace matter. Due to the holiday season, there will be no waste collection on Christmas Day, December 25th. Collection will be moved to the next day. Barrie Transit has holiday changes to transit service. Christmas Eve, regular weekday service. Christmas Day, no service. Boxing Day, regular Saturday service. New Year's Eve, regular weekday service. There will not be the extended evening service, though, anticipating that as we're in lockdown, it is not going to be the same kind of New Year's as it is other years. And there is no service on New Year's Day, January 1st. Now, importantly, subject to confirmation, we are going to keep that transit terminal open as a warming center, even with the lockdown restrictions. So there's distancing possible. It's a large space. Our staff will be ensuring that people are staying safe while they're in the space. But the intent, of course, is to keep that open during the lockdown period as a warming center in the extreme cold weather, and that there will be staff at that facility. The City of Barrie is offering new, unique ways to help residents enjoy the season. Unfortunately, under different circumstances, we are selling winter fun in a bag containing family items to create special memories at home over the holidays. $10 each, available for curbside pickup at the rec centers. You can purchase a treat bag at play.barrie.ca. We will be offering we will not be able to offer the free swims and indoor skating once the lockdown occurs. So unfortunately, that which we had announced for the holidays will have to go by the wayside with the lockdown. And of course, as I'm sure everybody knows, we won't be hosting the Downtown Countdown, you know, the giant crowd of people at a rock concert. What we will be hosting is an online family event that starts at 7 p.m. featuring Splash and Boots. So our friends Splash and Boots, who are there for the kids every year in the early part of the evening on New Year's Eve, will still be there, and they'll be easier to find because all you've got to do is tune into our social media channel rather than coming to City Hall. Of course, the on-street parking restrictions are now in effect. Just to reiterate from the earlier discussion on services, please do go to the health unit's website to get updates on what the new lockdown means. I know there are, there was some back and forth on dates and times and when it was, when and what was going to be in effect. It is a broader lockdown than the gray framework. So what it is important to know is you should now go online and check as to what will be open and closed. The province has announced it, and then the health unit will have more information on their website. General Committee and City Council resume on Monday, January 11th. And before we move to bylaws, since this is, as noted, the last City Council meeting of the worst year in my lifetime, and I'm sure most people's, 2020, I do want to take the opportunity on behalf of Council to wish all of our residents best wishes for a safe and happy holiday and a Merry Christmas. And I do want to give a special shout out tonight to City staff, from the people who drive plows and buses and fire trucks and police vehicles and pickup trucks for the water department and bylaw vehicles, to those who work in an office and have had to shift to working online. There are more than 1,000 employees of this organization. And what we have done since March is to deliver the services that everybody needs to be safe in a city of 150,000. And every single one of those staff have had to pivot in one way or another to a different way of doing things. And I believe on behalf of Council, all of Council can say a thank you to those people, whether they are out in the field or riding a desk, for the way that they have moved to roll with the punches. And all of us as residents of this community have benefited from the fact that city staff in every single department have been able to continue services in one way or another. And I just cannot say enough about the speed with which and the positive attitude with which our city staff have approached these challenges. They have very, very difficult jobs. First responders, transit drivers, everybody who provides essential services has had to keep going to work and work in a different way and often a stressful way. So thank you to every single member of Barrie City staff in all the departments on behalf of Council. And I agree, everybody, give them a round of applause for the most difficult year that they've had to be through. All right, with that, how about the bylaws, Deputy Mayor Ward, and we move on to 2021.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that leave be granted to introduce the following bill and this bill be read a first, second, and third time this day and finally passed, Bill 123.
Thank you. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Ward, seconded by Councillor Thompson, that leave be granted to introduce the following bill and this bill be read a first, second, and third time this day and finally passed, Bill 123, the confirmation bylaw. Comments or questions? Seeing none, those in favor of the confirmation bylaw? I am as well. Any opposed? None. That carries unanimously. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Councillor Rob Thompson, seconded by Councillor Natalie Harris. We're adjourned. Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll see you in 2021.